Today I'm going to do a review of the JOOLA Rhyzen ICE rubber. This is this lovely blue rubber here. Now this rubber is kind of marketed more as an intermediate type rubber. It's not particularly fast, but it has good levels of control. And I've been using it for a few weeks on my backhand. And the reason I started using it is because I just felt like I needed a bit more control with my backhand strokes. Previously, I was using a JOOLA Rhyzen AGR rubber on my backhand. Very good attacking rubber, but I felt maybe I was just making too many unforced errors. So I thought for a while I would try out something a little more controlled. So I'm going to test it out with the robot, a few different strokes. I'm going to talk through my experiences of playing with this rubber and how it compares to the faster rubber I was using previously. So I'm actually going to start off with some pushing. And actually I found the Rhyzen ICE really good to push with. Because it's a softer sponge, slower rubber, I found it much easier to control the length of my push. I can still push deep and fast with heavy spin, but because it's a little bit slower, I found it much easier to keep the ball short. Now, this was something that I struggled with the AGR rubber, but with the Rhyzen ICE, yeah, much easier to play touch shots and just to keep my pushing generally tighter. And also I've kind of found the ability to just chop a little bit if I need to, because it's not shooting off the rubber so fast. I feel like, you know, I have that ability just to slow the ball down when I want to. So I've found Rhyzen ICE really good for playing backspin. The other really good thing I found with this rubber is blocking. Again, because it's a slower rubber, which means I feel like I can absorb quite a lot of heavy top spin and just get that block back on every time. So with the AGR rubber, it was, yeah, good to block with, but there was always the danger I was going to block long. With this one, there's less risk of me blocking long. And I think it gives me a greater range with my blocking of being able, I can still do fast blocks, still do fast aggressive blocks, but I can really take the pace out of the ball much more. And it's also helped me just a little bit start doing a few shot blocks. And that's working quite nicely. So again, a nice controlled rubber for absorbing the other player's attacks. Now, the area where this rubber does not perform as well as other faster rubbers is, for the attacking game. Okay, I can't play as fast shots compared to when I was using Rhyzen AGR. So my attacking shots, they are slower. Now, I can still get good spin, I can still hit through the ball. If anything, on the backhand side, I have a little more consistency with my strokes, but certainly it doesn't have the same level of pace. So I feel to really get a good backing attack from this rubber, I have to fully commit to the stroke. Okay, so it depends what you're looking for. If you need a rubber with good attacking consistency, fine. If you're looking something to, really blast your opponent off the table, then this probably isn't going to be the right rubber. And the other area where the rubber maybe is not so strong is with top spin against backspin. Now, partly this would be my technique not being as good as it could be, but certainly the rubber, I don't feel massively helps me out here. I've got to get the technique absolutely spot on for this rubber to get some good speed and spin. Now, if I do get the technique right and I get that really good brushing, yeah, I can still play decent top spins against backspin. Not spectacular, decent. But I feel, compared to the AGR, there's just that lack of zip in the rubber. So overall, what do I think about the JOOLA Rhyzen ICE? Well, my purpose for using it was to give myself more control. And in that respect, actually, I'm very happy with the rubber, and I think I'm going to keep on using it for a little time more. I just feel that my ability to keep the ball tight with pushes and with blocks has just made me a little more difficult to play against. The downside is that my attacking game on the backhand side hasn't really developed using this rubber. And if I want to become more attacking on the backhand, then yeah, I need to keep improving my technique, but maybe at some point I'll need to switch to a slightly faster rubber again. So if you're looking for a rubber with good control, if you're more of an all-round player, mixing up pushes, blocks, maybe even some chops, some attacks, well, this is a good rubber to consider. I think if you're more of an all-out attacking type player, then no, there are many better choices to use. But it's a decent price. The spin quality is decent. Yeah, it's just a decent, solid, all-round rubber. Okay. Any comments, any questions, just post below and I'll respond. But that is the JOOLA Rhyzen ICE.